Agree.
Flying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's hard to believe it's November.
I know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was just February.
Yeah.
Like
I
2 days ago, and now it's November.
I think I'm stuck somewhere around mid-August. Like, huh? Oh, here it is. Another season already.
I'm really glad it's not August because it's cool now here, but anyway.
Oh, right.
Well,
It was
Linda
42 this morning.
Linda Francis, we have two Lindas. Do you have your UGG slippers on today?
Yep, I do.
Oh, how cute.
So
Yep.
your tootsies
It's-
are nice.
it's
your tootsies
chilly.
are warm. Your tootsies are nice
Sorry?
and warm.
Yeah,
Your tootsies are nice and warm.
yep. No more flip-flops now until March or April. So I'm done with that.
Linda, how are you feeling?
Me, I'm good.
Okay,
How about you?
good, thanks.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm very good, actually. I had a good night's sleep and I feel good.
Welcome to everybody. Welcome to Nick and Jesus. I see you over there,
Me too.
quietly observing. Dave, welcome. And Reverend
Thank you.
Bill
Thank you.
Marchiony, welcome to our
Hey.
Sunday service.
It's thank you for having me.
And Joe,
Make sure you behave.
Oh, that's me.
Joe.
Ginger,
Hi. Why? I don't get
Hi,
that.
Dave.
Hello.
Okay, I'm gonna stand up and show you my shirt before we start.
Okay, that sounds nice.
oh, vote.
Vote.
I can't see. What's the last
We're
word?
ruthless.
Ruthless.
We're ruthless.
Ah. I
As
see.
in,
what you-
as in
Where
the
is it?
color Ruth Bader.
Yes,
shirt.
exactly.
Yeah, get it.
Yeah.
Wow,
Okay.
Got
that's
it.
great.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, bell rang.
Here's today's God Call with Reverend Bill.
Let's talk about the fine line between arrogance and understanding and awareness. So, if there's somebody who acts like he can walk on water, we can have an attitude that maybe there's something going on with that person being really arrogant. On the other hand, if we understand that that person knows they just have to wait for it to get cold enough, and in fact they can walk on water, that's a whole different level of awareness. So become aware of what's possible for you next. Ginger, you're muted.
Okay, thank you for letting me know. Listen as your day unfolds, challenge what the future holds. Try to keep your head up to the sky. Lovers, they may cause you tears. Go ahead, release your fears. Stand up and be counted, don't be ashamed to cry. You gotta be bad, you gotta be bold, you gotta be wiser. You gotta be hard, you gotta be tough, you gotta be stronger. You gotta be cool, you gotta be calm, you gotta stay together. All I know, love will save the day. Herald what your mother read, read the books your father read. Try to solve the puzzles in your own sweet time. Some may have more cash than you, others take a different view. My, oh my, you gotta be bad, you gotta be bold, you gotta be wiser. You gotta be hard, you gotta be tough, you gotta be stronger. You gotta be cool, you gotta be calm, you gotta stay together. All I know, love will save the day. Time has ask no questions. It goes on without you, leaving you behind if you can't stand the pace. The world keeps on spinning, can't stop, and if you try to, the best part is danger staring you in the face. Whoa. Remember, listen as your day unfolds. Challenge what the future holds. Try to keep your head up to the sky. Lovers, they may cause you tears. Go ahead, release your fears. My, oh my. You gotta be bad, you gotta be bold, you gotta be wiser. You gotta be hard, you gotta be tough, you gotta be stronger. You gotta be cool, you gotta be calm, you gotta stay together. All I know, love will save the day. Got to be bad, got to be bold, got to be wise, don't ever be sad. Got to be hard, not too hard. All I know is love will save the day.
That was awesome. That was awesome. Thank you, Ginger. And it's great to have you closer to us, just time zone wise. She overshot Philadelphia on her way back from South Dakota, got to the Jersey Shore, but she was circling around. We're actually going to be in person together for the winter solstice. Yep, on the 21st of December. More information about that coming soon. And good morning, New Thought Philadelphia. We are on Zoom now. We're getting ready to go back and start doing hybrid, probably once a month. We're intending to be in person and also Zooming on November 20th, which is in a couple of weeks. Again, more details to come on that, and mysteries unfolding as well. So you guys know the rules for Zoom is keep your mic muted, except when you're talking, sharing, or contributing to the joyous spiritual cacophony, which we are going to do right now. So go ahead and unmute your microphone and understand you don't got to be all those things Ginger said. You just can. We get to choose. So go ahead and repeat after me. I open myself to good.
I open myself to good.
Good.
Open myself to love.
I open myself to love.
Love.
I open myself to happy, pleasant coincidence.
I open myself to
happy,
pleasant
pleasant
coincidence.
And I know good is right here, right now.
And I
know
Good
good
is right here,
right
right
now.
now.
And so it is.
So it is.
So
it
it
is.
is.
Okay, exercise that mute button one more time as I remind you that New Thought Philadelphia is an open and loving community of spiritual adventurers, welcoming each person to experience his or her divine nature in an empowering space of unconditional love. Whatever path you've been on, whatever brought you through our Zoom gateway today, wherever you're heading next, we have been expecting you, and welcome home. So you don't gotta believe anything, but you can. You can. The kind of one core thing that we agree on here is that there is one power, love, intelligence, or force that creates everything, including each of us, and that we're each using that same power, love, intelligence, or force to create our lives according to our beliefs. For short, your new life begins with a new thought. If you have distracting electronic devices that would draw your attention away from that spiritual truth that we're focusing on for the next hour or so, go ahead and set it on shush. Turn it off, throw it out the window, whatever spirit tells you is going to be the good thing to do. And we'll turn to each other. I am Bill Marchiony, your spiritual director here at New Thought Philadelphia. Our music today is Ginger Coyle, the Eastern time zone Ginger Coyle now. And we got a couple of practitioners for the celebration today. Joe's going to do the meditation later, and Jesus Baez is going to open us in prayer, the way we open everything.
Thank you, Rev. Thank you. As we open right now, open ourselves to that field of pure potentiality, to the field of infinite possibility. Stay open to a spirit which is in us, through us, around us. It is us. So as we settle into this goodness, the inner place of that field, that everything is possible, all that good, We open ourselves to the good, and more good. And I am grateful to know that Spirit God, the wisdom, the intelligence, the unity, the love, the power that is here right now in each one of us, creating right now this celebration with the music, the speaker, the meditation, the announcement, the sharing of the look, God looking at each other is God looking at God through each one of us. And I know that today is a wonderful, a pleasant day that we live in. And we live in love. We live in unity. We live in this power, sharing, Spirit sharing himself through each one of us in a unique divinity and wonderful way that we are. I know Spirit is saturating this Zoom celebration with love and power. So let's stay open to the goodness. Let's stay in that field that anything is possible. Whatever we go through in this day, open, stay open. I claim this good. I claim this awareness, this alertness, this acceptance of good in our life for each one of us. And with gratitude in my liver, in each organ, and each cell of my body, vibrating with Spirit in me, with the goodness and with gratitude, I keep this attitude of gratitude through the hour, through the minute, through the second, through the week, through the month, through the year, through my life. And I know it's so. And I release my word, this word that I speak with power. It will never come back empty. I know heaven and earth will pass away, but my word will never pass away. So I release it to the creative law that always say yes. And once again, it say yes. So it is. Amen.
So it is. Amen. That's beautiful, Jesus.
Thank you.
It's an interesting thought of it, telling somebody you love them from the bottom of your liver. But, you know, it could work for anybody. The reason that we do a prayer, as you guys know, is to create a different experience in our life. It's not to earn God points or to do penance or for anything other than to participate in that creative process that's underway all the time. So this is the time during our celebration where we get to share our prayer work story. And I usually don't share. I was planning on not telling a prayer work story today, but the thing that I've been taking into prayer is inviting coincidence and going with the flow. And as you may know, one of the businesses that I offer up is to do technical consulting and support for other ministries. And I've got, a few clients that I'm working with, and that woman showed up, just basically put an appointment on my calendar for an intake session a week and a half ago. And so I did the session with her, and she's in Arizona. And, I did a little research behind it. I figured that one of the people who I know in Arizona one of the ministers I know in Arizona had pointed her my way. And as we're talking, I said, so, Michelle? And she says, no, who's Michelle? I said, how did you find me? And it turns out that she was on Insight Timer, and she heard one of my practical prayers on Insight Timer, and then looked me up on Insight Timer, and that led to the Be the Light website, and she found out I do technology stuff, and her ministry could use technology support. She's Catholic. She's in a completely different lane than we're in, and I'm now her chief technology officer. So just opening up to those possibilities is awesome. And she's, if you can imagine a New Thought Catholic, that's who she is. So I'm having fun with that. This morning I got up and it was light for the first time in getting up early. And usually on Sunday mornings I do yoga, and I let the dog out and I noticed it's kind of warm. So I said, I could do yoga on the deck. And how unlikely is that in November? So I did. And shortly after I was done, it started raining. So just the universe reminding me, carpe diem, seize the day and the good comes about. So that is my prayer working. I know Breen has a story to tell. Anybody else, you can raise your hand and share away. So Breen and Chris and Linda.
Thank you. So I take some medicine daily for hypothyroid that I didn't even know I had until I just did some routine blood work, and my doctor's like, your TSH yeah, TSH numbers are not good. I'm like, really? What does that mean? So anyway, so I take a little pill every morning, and I'm supposed to take it on an empty stomach and not supposed to eat or drink anything for an hour afterwards. So when I remember at night, I say a practical prayer around waking up, taking my pill, and going back to sleep, and then waking up at my regular time. And when I do that, it's uncanny, because I will just, for some reason, wake up at 6 o'clock. And I'll take it and I'll go back to sleep till 7 or 7:30, because I work from home. I don't have to get up too early. So I can take the pill on an empty stomach and not have to wake up and wait for an hour before I can have my coffee.
I love
It's just, it really is uncanny. When I remember to do it, I have complete faith that it will work. So it's pretty cool.
And then it does. Perfect. Christine Joy.
So yesterday was a beautiful day in Maryland. The trees are amazingly just picturesque, and it was warm, and Bill and I decided to take Liam to the playground, quite a large playground, and go get ice cream and, be outside, enjoy the day. So Bill asked me, do you have your keys? And I was like, no. And Liam's like, I have my keys. And he went, grabbed his keys, which are on a lanyard. And we're like, great. And we just went with that, So neither Bill and I had our keys. Liam had his key, and we went to the playground, and we were there for quite a while, maybe about 25 minutes into just hanging out, watching him play and talk. Hear this, Mom, Dad, I lost my key. Now, it's a beautiful day, and there's lots of keys in the playground, and a lot of just the land is like blanketed in fall leaves, like everywhere. And I was like, oh no. And I originally started getting really stressed and was like, looking and everything. And I'm like, kicking around knees with my foot and going from spot to spot from where I was watching them. And then all of a sudden I would kind of reminded myself, wait, take a breath, just breathe in the breath of God, slow down, say a prayer. It's possible for this man to manifest locating Liam's key. And so I said a prayer and just calmly walked around, and within 5 minutes, I found it. And it was just like, wow, and it went on not to be a stressful day, but a cool day. And we stayed at the park, and he played, and I didn't have to worry about calling maintenance to break into my door, because we didn't have our keys on us. And it just turned out beautiful. And I was like, whoa, it was so cool. I mean, it wasn't just sitting out right there, it was just,
yeah.
Just
that's what an awesome story. That's the way it works. It's not like it takes a long time or there's some unfolding. It's, there can just be a dramatic and sudden transformation. Linda.
Morning, everybody. So I think that over the course of time, I've told people that my next door neighbor has been painting for me for beer. And he painted my whole exterior of my house. He painted my doors and my door jambs. He painted my front door, and he painted the laundry room. So I haven't asked him to do anything like that, but I've been thinking in my head about how the last thing I need done is to get my guest bathroom painted. It's just a couple of walls, but it's a hideous dark red, and I just can't stand it. And anyway, so he came over the other day. I've been thinking about it. I didn't actually do a practical prayer, but somehow or other, when I think about things, it's a practical prayer. And he came over the other day and he goes, you want me to paint your bathroom? Like, yeah. So while I'm gone in California for Thanksgiving, he's going to paint my bathroom for beer.
I love it. Not with beer, for beer. Perfect.
For beer. I go to Costco and buy him beer, and he paints. So it's great.
Love when that happens.
Anyway, that was a good deal.
That is a good deal. And yeah, basically, when we set an intention to have and activate our belief, then the law works, and we can kick it up a notch if it's something that we don't necessarily believe, to overcome our doubt, and that's where the prayer comes in. But that's all prayer. So thank you for that.
And to answer Sarah before I mute myself, yes, he's over 21.
Joe, unmute.
Good morning, everybody. First, I'd like to thank Ginger for recording that beautiful song for my dad's funeral service. It was great, and I want to give her the credit for it. So I really appreciate it.
Thank you for the invitation, Joe. Thanks for letting me be a part of it. Love you.
Thank you. But so my prayer work story is besides that is my abundance issue is more about time than anything else. And the other day I had a bunch of stuff to do, and I had to be at the Fear to Faith workshop that night, and I'm kind of late getting a start. And I'm driving home, got a good ways to go down City Line Avenue, and I just said, it's going to be perfect. You're going to be home by 6. You'll be out the door by 6:30, and you'll be in class on time. I didn't stress. I didn't worry. I didn't, get all worked up about it, and it just happened. So it was great.
Beautiful. I love that. Sandy's turn. Got some announcements.
Whoop.
And it was wonderful seeing you in person at the Spiritual Adventure Workshop, Joe.
It was good to be there, even if it was just 2 of us and the Zoom people.
Right. Where 2 or more are gathered.
Yep.
Good morning, everyone. This harvest of information is on our website at newthoughtphilly.org and in our weekly e-newsletter. Please sign up on the website so we can keep in touch. Twice a day, we have a community check-in and meditation on Zoom. Everyone's welcome. They're inspiring and fun and quick, less than 15 minutes, start to finish. Save the date for our winter solstice celebration on the evening of Wednesday, December 21st. We'll be hybrid with live in-person music by Ginger Coyle. We will also be hybrid on Sunday, November 20th. Details to come. The series of spiritual adventure workshops continues with tapping and havening with Joe Mitchell on Thursday at Exhale in Narberth and hybrid on Zoom. Sign up today. Episode 74 of Reverend Bill's Practical Prayer Podcast is Valley of the Shadow. Get it where you get your podcasts. You can join the live recording session on Monday at 1 on YouTube and Facebook Live. Follow our social media on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and now TikTok, and join the 1,196 spiritual adventurers in our group on meetup.com. The Power of 8 Intention Circle meets on Zoom every Monday at 6:30 p.m. And the Women's Circle meets on Zoom twice a month on the first Monday and the third Thursday at 7 p.m. So we're meeting this Monday, and you can contact me for more information. Movie night is on Sunday, November 27th. We'll meet on Zoom at 7 p.m. to watch and talk about Pixar's Soul, a fun way to connect and wrap up Thanksgiving weekend. Election Day is this Tuesday. Vote. Thank you for your tax-deductible donations by credit or debit card, PayPal, check, Venmo, Cash App, or Zelle. And thank you to the team that makes our Zoom celebrations work and has fun doing it. To join, you can contact me or click on the volunteer link on our website. Next Sunday is Online with Gideon and the 300. As guest speaker, Reverend Sonia Mathis takes us on a metaphysical exploration of the principles and tools we can learn from Gideon to use for our own spiritual battles. Live original music by Deb Chamberlain. Reverend Bill and the practitioners are available for professional sessions by appointment. After our celebration today, Jesus will be available for a quick miracle in a minute prayer, and we'll leave the Zoom meeting open for people to talk amongst ourselves after the celebration.
Thank you, Sandy. And if any of you got me, oh my goodness, the guest speaker is going to be talking about scripture. What Bible? I don't know, run away. Sanja Mathis is a brand new Unity minister, like minted over the summer. She is wonderful, good fun. She has some great concepts, like how you can have a conversation with anybody. She says, talk about their shoes. Just talk about shoes. Everybody likes to talk about shoes. And she brings that perspective into everything she does. And she is just a ton of fun. So I do encourage you to make plans to be here next week. We would like to welcome people who are joining us for the first time. So if you would like to, you can signify yourself by waving your hand or by raising your electronic hand in the little window. There's some people who I do not recognize here, and that's okay. You don't need to necessarily out yourself. The rest of us can rub our hands together, feel some warmth, feel some love. I'm going to send that out. For those of you here for the first time, just accept it. You are the bright light of God's love. Thank you for shining that light and sharing that love with us today. And welcome. As Ginger does our next song, we're going to go ahead and, if you can, switch to gallery view, or even if you're on a device, you can go to one where you can see 4 people at a time, and just scroll back and forth. Make eye contact with the people we're in community with, because the eyes that you're looking into and the eyes that you're looking with are the eyes of God. Ginger?
When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. And in my hour of darkness, she is standing right in front of me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Speaking words of wisdom, let it be. And when the broken-hearted people living in the world agree, there will be an answer, let it be. Though they may be parted, there is still a chance that they will see. There will be an answer, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. There will be an answer, let it be. Let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be. There will be an answer, let it be. And when the night is cloudy, there is still a light that shines on me. Shine until tomorrow, let it be. Wake up to the sound of music. Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom. Let it be. Ooh, let it be. Let it be. Let it be. Let it be. Speaking words of wisdom. Let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Yeah. Speaking words of wisdom, let it be.
thank you, Ginger. That's beautiful. That is beautiful. I love looking around the group and just seeing, first of all the loving faces, and also the great spread that we have. I mean, we're in Pennsylvania and in New Jersey and New York and Delaware and Maryland and New Mexico and Arizona and Wisconsin and California, which had the distance award until Patrick showed up. He's in Portugal. So, this is the worldwide love. And I just feel it. And I'm so grateful for the way that this group is together. Let's light some flames of faith. Winnie is going to read for us today.
We perform this ceremony to acknowledge that all people and all faith come from the one power, love, intelligence, which we call spirit or God. We honor the richness that comes from our shared diversity and bless the interwoven energy of the divine feminine and masculine. We light the first candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the second candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the belief and practices of all indigenous people, the way of primal spirituality. We light the third candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the fourth candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the fifth candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the sixth candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the seventh candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. We light the eighth candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the ninth candle for all forms of new thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. As we light the healing candle, please put silently into the light the names of anyone or any place you wish to have experienced the healing flame of God's eternal love.
Blessed be. Our reading today is going to be brought to us from Arizona, which is now back on, actually it's been on Mountain Standard Time all along, but is now an hour closer to us.
Yeah, I'm 2 hours earlier than you now instead of 3. So good morning again, everyone. This reading today is from A Breath of Life by Alan Cohen. And it says, hang on. This reading is called Choice Words. Only in the sacredness of inward silence does the soul truly meet the secret hiding God. Those words are from Frederick William Robertson. A friend of mine conducts retreats in Assisi, Italy, the birthplace and home of St. Francis. Yea, much of the retreat time is spent in silent meditation. The program has a rule: do not speak unless what you have to say is more powerful than the silence. The Quakers understood this principle and incorporated it into their prayer services. The Quakers sit silently, and no one speaks unless he or she is moved by spirit to do so. One must not speak until he or she is literally exploding or quaking. That is the sign that God, and not the ego, is moving through the person. In my seminars, I've noticed a wide range of energies that issue forth when various people speak. When someone speaks from her heart, she may say but a few words and the entire room is riveted. That is how compelling, sincere expression can be. Others may go on for a long time and say nothing. The room goes dead, for the speaker is proceeding from their head or ego. Try practicing periods of silence. Take a morning or a day regularly and go into the quiet chamber of your heart. You will be amazed at the wealth of aliveness you find behind your words, and you will discover that words often detract from truth. When you speak again, your words will be chosen, powerful, and healing. Make every word you speak count, and you will co-create with God. Lord, make my words an instrument of your peace. I use the power of the word to create good, success, and healing.
Dear Prudence, won't you come out to play? Dear Prudence, greet the brand new day. The sun is up, the sky is blue, it's beautiful, and so are you, dear Prudence. Won't you come out to play? Dear Prudence, open up your eyes. Dear Prudence, greet the sunny skies. The wind is low, the birds will sing, that you are part of everything, dear Prudence. Won't you open up your eyes? Look around, round, round. Look around, round, round. Look around, round, round. Look around, round, round.
Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, Ginger. That's wonderful. In the beginning, there was darkness and void, and God said, "Let there be like whatever." Is not what the scripture says. Because it turns out words are important. Words are important because words are what we use to transfer ideas from one person's understanding to another person's understanding. It's also how we record our ideas. We put them into words and we write down the words, and that becomes the record of what happened. Now, in a lot of cases, we can do pictures, or we can do other ways of recording what it is that we have in mind. But for communication, transferring an idea from one mind to another mind, words is important. And so we need to choose them carefully. The new saying at Anton, the affiliated New Thought Network, for the whole organization is mean what you say and say what you mean. And that seems so simple. It seems so simple to mean what you say and say what you mean. But the specificity sometimes gets in there, and it's really important. Here's an example. This is not something that I specifically heard, but it's the sort of thing that I hear a lot. It's something Ellen and Sandy were talking to Mary, and she said her daughter had to go to the hospital. I actually wrote that down. Ellen and Sandy were talking to Mary, and she said her daughter had to go to the hospital. And so I know that there's something going on there, but I do not know who said her daughter had to go to the hospital, because there's 3 women in there. They could all be the her. So I don't know who said it. I don't know whose daughter it was. And I don't know, based on how many daughters there are, which daughter it was. Ellen and Sandy were talking to Mary, and she said her daughter had to go to the hospital. And Ellen said her eldest daughter had to go to the hospital. Now, that's some specificity. That's actually transferring an idea. And you could say, wow, that's really interesting, Reverend Bill. Or you could say, who cares, Reverend Bill? Just ask. You can just ask for clarification, and it'll come along. Sometimes we talk about the 4 agreements in Don Miguel Ruiz, and I love the 4 agreements because it is so simple. The first agreement is be impeccable with your word, and not just be accurate or clear or definite with your word. Be impeccable with your word. Make sure that your word is exactly what you mean. Say what you mean and mean what you say. That's being impeccable with your word. And when we do that, the idea that we're transferring from our mind into somebody else's mind is the message that we want to have go through. Because the third agreement is don't make assumptions. And if I heard somebody say, Ellen and Sandy were talking to Mary, and she said her daughter had to go to the hospital, I could make all sorts of assumptions about, oh, that sick child. She's the one who's going to the hospital. And that may or may not be true. Or I could think that it's going to be one person's child instead of the other, and then I can go and turn the next portion of my life into a Blake Edwards movie where it's based on a misunderstanding and it just gets more and more and more confusing. So when we hear something and it's not clear, don't make assumptions. Invite clarity. And when we're saying something, be impeccable with your word. And sometimes we describe the way that Amazon works. Is you can go onto Amazon.com and search for anything, and they have a huge inventory and list of various things that you can buy. And there's a process where you click the buttons and make the payments, and the shipment shows up, sometimes remarkably quickly. If we were to go onto the Amazon site and there was a button that said, send me something nice, that's let there be whatever. Okay, Amazon has a lot of stuff, and somebody thinks all of it is nice, whether it's nice to have or nice to sell. It's all on there for a reason. But when we say, send me something nice, or when we say, let there be whatever, we pretty much need to be okay with whatever shows up. And I've been running a teen group for a bunch of years. There was that remarkable lack of specificity with the willingness to say, yeah, whatever. And on the one hand, that's okay if whatever is going to be okay. When we are opening ourselves up to coincidence and mystery and just inviting the things to fit together harmoniously for us, then that can be a let there be whatever. And I know that the whatever is good and uplifting and wonderful and powerful for me. But when I phrase it that way, that's not whatever. That's whatever is going to be good or uplifting or pleasant or harmonious for me or for everybody who's involved. When we just let it be whatever, we're giving away our power, because we have the power to choose. We have the power to set an intention and use our words to describe and define that intention, and then use that intention to create the next new experience that we're having in our life. So today is the first day of standard time. We went off of daylight savings time, all of us except Linda, at 2 o'clock in the morning. And there's a huge debate going on in our country about daylight saving time. And by the way, it is daylight saving time, not savings. It's savings time makes it seem like a bank account. Daylight savings time, or daylight saving time, does not save daylight. It does not save daylight. Okay, we do not have the ability to determine how much daylight there is going to be. There is going to be daylight from whenever sunrise happens to be at our location until whenever sunset happens to be at our location. What daylight saving time does is reschedules it. It changes the time rather than the daylight. And there is a movement afoot in our country, like, once again, to make daylight saving time be permanent year round, because everybody says they don't. Not everybody. There are people. Let me be specific and impeccable with my word. There are people who don't like the time change because it throws their body clock off, and there are people who don't like the disruption of having to change and readjust, and there are people who don't like this and that and the other thing, and it was all done for agriculture to begin with, so why bother? Well, it turns out that in the summertime, the sun comes up in Philadelphia, and this is on the summer solstice, at 5:32 in the morning, and it sets at 8:32 at night. That's 15 hours of daylight. So, and that's with daylight saving time on. Without daylight saving time, the sun would come up at 4:32 in the morning and set at 7:32. Well, that's like around the 4th of July, so that would make the fireworks at 8 rather than 9, and the long summer evenings would not be as long as they normally are. And really, the sun's going to come up at 4:30 in the morning? Well, who needs that? Who needs that? So there was this great idea. Let's shift the clocks so that we can have the sun early, and it doesn't come up so early in the morning, and we get that extra time in the evening. Let's just do that. And we could leave that in place for the winter time. And there are people who want to be able to do that. There's a lawn sign, some neighbors around the corner from me, that they don't like playing sports in the dark. So we should have daylight saving time year round. Because what happens is in the wintertime, on the winter solstice, the sun comes up at 7:18 and it goes down at 4:37. Now that's early. That's dark. That's unpleasant. So if we leave the daylight saving time in place, then the sun stays up until 5:37. But it doesn't come up until 8:15. So everything that happens is going to be in the dark in the morning. We're not saving anything. We're rescheduling it. Oh, and by the way, agriculture, yes. The reason that agriculture is involved in this is not because the farmers are going to get up an hour earlier or an hour later based on what the clock says. The farmers are getting up with the sun, and they're doing what they're doing early, and they're going to work as late as they have to because you make hay while the sun shines, and the farmers all understand that. However, the cafe where they get their coffee in the morning, they're going to show up an hour earlier. So everybody who's supporting the agricultural business needs to start an hour earlier. So by shifting the clocks, we can just make it more convenient for everybody. And for the schools, the students, the athletes who don't want to do the sports in the dark, just start school an hour earlier. You don't have to change that for your school. Instead of having school start at 7:30 in the morning, start it at 6:30 in the morning, and see how popular an idea that is. So we're not changing the sunshine. Yeah, if you'd like to have more sunshine, then move to the tropics. In Hawaii, there is no daylight saving time, and the sun comes up at 6 a.m. every day, and the sun sets every day at 6 p.m., and that's always what it is. There is the same in the tropics, between the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn. There's the same amount of daylight every day. There are ways to make this happen. And trying to take dominion over something by changing the words is not necessarily going to be helpful. There's another, concept about, let there be whatever. So there is this notion of global warming, that our planet is adding to carbon in the atmosphere, and it's making the planet warmer, and that's sea level rise, and that's not the sort of thing that's going to be sustainable. And there are people who say there's no such thing as global warming. And there are other people who say, of course there is such a thing as global warming. And they can have an argument and a discussion about that until they get into the specifics of the words. Because if you ask anybody, and that doesn't matter which side of the conversation they're on, do you believe that we are taking more resource out of the planet than is being replaced on a yearly basis or on a regular basis? And everybody says yes. Everybody says yes to that. So the discussion is, whose fault is it? Who's going to have to change something? When's it going to turn into a problem? But everybody agrees with that, to the point where there's something that I actually found out about called Earth Overshoot Day. Anybody heard about Earth Overshoot Day? It's actually a thing. Earth Overshoot Day is the date in the year when we use up all of the resource that's going to be generated for the year. So ideally, Earth Overshoot Day should be on December 31st. This year, it was on July 28th. We're 74% over the resources that we should be using because it's not, and that's energy and it's carbon and it's food and it's all of it. So we're using up the planet faster than we can. And you search for Earth Overshoot Day. There's people who are they're tracking this. So let there be whatever. Well, okay, whatever includes July 28th this year. So when we're having a conversation, when we're coming to a new understanding, let's bring in the information, the insight, the knowledge. Let's be impeccable with our understanding about what's going on, because that way we can get some clarity about what it is that we're doing. We get to not make assumptions. Oh, we can do this forever. Oh, this is not going to be a problem for me. Oh, this is whatever it happens to be. And there are things that some people say that even though they repeat them and repeat them and repeat them, they're still not true. And there is a tendency that we have when we hear something over and over and over again to say, well, there's got to be something to it. Okay. And, you know, my favorite example is the election was stolen. Okay. Don't take my word for it. Okay. There's 60 something legal cases. The election was not stolen. Was it perfect? No, there's no such thing as having a perfect election. There were some things that needed some tweaking and adjusting, and we keep on making it better. But if we keep on saying something that's not true, then we keep on calling something into question and then have to think more about it. Or if we're going to put ourselves into a let there be whatever, somebody's saying this, somebody's saying that, whatever, we're just going to go along with it. And don't do that because, as I mentioned, that's like ordering something from Amazon and just letting them send you something nice. That's giving away our power. And we don't want to do that. We want to claim our power, whether it's for something that we enjoy or if it's for something that is important to us or that we care about, or to support other people in what they care about. So there's lots of different ways that shows up in our life. There was a conversation that we were having on the daily meditation a couple of weeks ago, and one of the people on the meditation is dealing with a health challenge, and referred to the health challenge in the possessive, like my illness. And the suggestion was, don't claim ownership of the illness. The illness is something that's very real and it's right there and it's something that needs to be dealt with. But when we're claiming it as our own, then we're embodying it and it's much more difficult to move past it. So the metaphor that we came up with instead was that this person and the illness were riding on the bus together and it's sitting in the next seat. And so it's right there. It's right there. But there was always the possibility, well, I could just get off the bus, get on a different bus, or it could get off the bus. And I'm free to continue along, and it doesn't have to be part of my experience continually. And it's a really subtle, possibly insignificant shift, but by putting our attention to what it is that we want to be experiencing, we let go of the other stuff and invite in the good. So that is the looping around of let there be whatever. Yes, let there be something specific. Be impeccable with your word and invite in something spectacular into your life because you deserve it, because you're wonderful. So it is.
That was really lovely. We're going to do an Om chant in between these verses of Amazing Grace. So let's just deepen ourselves. Take a deep breath. Om. Again. Om. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved and set me free. I once was lost and now
now I see.
Another deep breath.
Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear the hour I first believed.
Another deep breath through the top of your head. Om.
Through many dangers, toils, and snares, I have already come. Grace has brought me safe thus far, and grace will lead me home. When we've been here 10,000 years, bright shining as the sun, we've no less days to sing God's praise than when we first begun.
One more time.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved and set me free. I once was lost, but now am found. Was blind, but now I see.
Take your deep breath.
Two more times.
Through the top of your head one last time.
Thank you, Ginger. That was beautiful. And it's a great lead into our meditation. So I'd like everyone to get comfortable in their chairs. And a friend of mine gave me a great question earlier this weekend. How do you drop into that space in your heart? How do you do that? I'm like, and it really made me think. It made me think about how do we really do that? So we kind of sort of take it for granted, but I liken it to that quieting when you're ready to do a prayer, or when you walk into any kind of sacred space, it could be a building, could be a church, cathedral, could be a museum, but that sense of scale that you feel helps you to drop into that space. So again, let's get comfortable to do that. Let's drop in, let's sit down, get comfortable in your chair, get your feet flat on the floor. Be relaxed, but yet straighten your spine and take a deep breath. Conscious, aware, deep breath. Breathe in, hold it at the top, and release. And that helps to relax the muscles and opens up your internal space. We'll do 2 more deep breaths. You take a deep breath in, hold it at the top, and let it out. Expand that space a little more. We're listening to the messages from our heart, from spirit. 1 more slow deep breath. Take it in, hold it at the top, release, make room for that spirit to expand. And as we let go of all the stuff that floats around us in our awareness, just focus your awareness on your breath. The sensation, the movement of your chest, your belly in and out, movement of the air. And just let your awareness follow that instead of the little chattering in your head. That chattering is still words. Those are words that we don't even vocalize in our heads, and there's words that come out of our mouths. And the message today that all of those words have power was pretty profound. Think about the power of those words. How do we use those words to co-create with spirit? How do we be impeccable with them? What do we want to create? What good? Wisdom, healing, love, joy, clarity. I don't even think we need to pick one. Right now, just think about the fact that the words we come up with have that co-creative power. So as we deepen into the meditation, just be aware of that power. And be aware of how you can use it wisely. You could think about taking in power on the in-breath and wisely on the out-breath. Or it feels better for you vice versa. Wisdom on the in-breath and power on the out-breath. Just focus on that power and using it wisely. The words that we choose, whether we speak them verbally or not. And take that journey into the quiet together.
A great meditator said, his name is Warren Evan Felt, one of the founders in the modern New Thought movement. When the shadows of the mind ceases in real meditation, the no thinking in meditation is the greatest something there is. Words putting together, creating affirmations with feelings, bring a great demonstration. Words from the unmanifested comes to form manifested. I am sinless, I am perfect, impeccable. Saying what I mean and mean what I'm saying. That's perfection. Our words come into that form of goodness right here and right now. Take a deep breath in. Let it go. Shake your shoulders. Move a little your body, but keep your mind still. And as you let it go, come back into the Zoom. You can open your eyes slowly as Ginger play this beautiful song for us.
Many pray along the way, they don't stop to wonder what the world is coming to. They let something higher reveal the way to greater love. So the truth is telling me, sing of liberation for the ones who are not free. Love can take us higher, reveal the way to greater love. So we let it wash over us, we let it make us kinder, we let it make us better, we let it be, we let it early in the morning hold us together. Now and forever we let it be. Some still cry along the way, walking through the sadness for a world that needs to know love can take us higher, reveal the way to greater love. So the truth keeps telling me love's the only answer, and to all humanity we can stay inspired, reveal the way to greater love. We let the love wash over. We let it be.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you, Ginger. So we've been on a little bit of a journey here, considering whatever. Does anybody have some whatever that you'd like to share with the group? Inspiration that you'd like to give voice to? Go ahead and just raise your hand or wave the digital thing. Was that your hand up, Ginger?
It
There we go.
was. Okay, so coming back here, I was very, I tried to plant seeds coming back. I tried to calculate where I would be playing and sharing besides spiritual communities on Sundays. It was very wide open. I got here at the end of September, and leading up to it, I was just trying to push and try to figure out, where I was going to be, because when I left before the pandemic, it was very whatever, and I was just going with the flow, and I was taking in whatever. But I've tried, I don't know. I saw that when I came back and I was open to whatever, things were coming in that I no longer wanted to participate with anymore. And I realized that I was no longer a whatever kind of person, and that I had power in it all, So I've learned that whatever is not for me in this new paradigm. And I started to set some more new intentions, clear intentions of where I wanted to be playing music, who I wanted to be playing music for. And I think that once I really fell into some deep prayer about that clarity that I needed, I prayed for the clarity. And then when the clarity came, I started to be more discerning. So now I'm trying, I'm really stepping into that, and the right ones are showing up. And when the ones that don't resonate show up, I say, no, thank you. And so it used to be really whatever. And then I'm realizing I can't do whatever anymore. That's a pandemic thing that I had to come to.
That's
And
beautiful.
even coming back in my scared mind of not knowing what I was going to have to do to make ends meet in my mind, that language of like, I'll do whatever I have to do. And then the things came that didn't resonate. I'm like, I don't have to do that. So yeah, it's not whatever for me anymore. It's very intentional, and I don't want to just order whatever off Amazon. That's for sure.
Beautiful.
So thank you for today. It's just a reminder that, like, yes, I'm very much in the same place, and it was great to be here today. So thank you.
Beautiful.
I'm looking forward to the solstice. That's not whatever.
Yeah, that's not whatever. That's a very specific something.
Yeah.
We don't even know exactly what yet. So there's still mystery, but yeah.
Yeah.
As good as we can imagine, and 10% better.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Cool.
Yay.
Carla, your team came in second. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Because you know what? If you would have asked anybody 5 weeks ago, they wouldn't even thought they'd be at the World Series. So thank you for saying that.
Yeah, and they performed a wonderful service by showing just exactly how good the Houston team was.
I don't know if I'll agree with that, but
Well, they needed somebody good to work their stuff on.
there's that. There's
So
that.
that's what I meant. So anyway, you were saying.
Well, I'm one of those people. If I could go to the same salon and the same doctor and the same everything forever, I'd be really happy. I would not switch. But of course, you end up having to switch. People retire and blah, blah, blah. They move. So you folks all helped me get a job, that I looked for a long time. And I put a lot of resumes out, and I had a lot of interviews. And then I found this job. And the first 9 months were amazing. And the second 9 months were challenging. And I learned a lot in them. But there's a part of me that would like to stay forever and just have this work out wherever. But I'm feeling a universe whisper in my ear that it's time to move on. And to even say that out loud makes me anxious. And it's like, oh, everybody already prayed for me enough. So to ask for more prayers about something that we already worked on, it's just too much. But hearing today, I learned a lot in the last 18 months. And I'm not going to leave tomorrow, but I am going to start putting feelers out for a new position. But I don't need to drop 100,000 resumes out there because now I can be more specific. I know what I enjoyed about this last position. I know what I've enjoyed about all of my positions. And I can be more specific about what I want next. And the same kind of thing happened with a guy. You guys prayed me into a guy and he was cool. We hung out for a little while, but not the right fit forever, you know? And I would still like to find that forever guy and that job that will take me into the point that I don't have to work anymore, which could probably be like 30 or 40 years, but you know, whatever. Oops.
Whatever.
But not whatever.
Not whatever, whatever. Yeah.
So I don't really, what I am saying is I am opening myself to new possibilities that come much more easily than up until now. You know, and yeah, I'm trying to be very specific with my wording. I'm struggling with it, but I'm going to work on that. And I'm going to go to the next step. And I'm going to be grateful for everything up until now, and then grateful for everything new. And that's my story.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you a quick story because it relates to what you're talking about. I was working for a technology company doing technical sales support, and it had me traveling a lot. And Dina was pregnant with Victoria at the time, and so that wasn't going to be a long-term sort of a thing. And I was at a trade show in Miami. We lived in Fort Lauderdale at the time, and one of our customers came by the booth and thought, okay, maybe we're going to be able to sell him something. And he starts asking me, "Is it really possible to use this technology to do all of our direct marketing, all of our catalogs and all of our printed materials on the desktop now? Because we've been doing it traditional." I said, "Oh yeah, I think I'm going to sell him an image setter." And then he says, "Because I'm looking for somebody to run the studio." And 2 weeks later, I was working for him. Now 3, but it did not involve the process that you're talking about. So when we open ourselves up to those possibilities coming along, the universe goes, "Oh, gotcha." And the same thing with a relationship. There's no relationship, and suddenly, boom, relationship, and everything changes. And when we're younger, we realize that's how our friends disappear. They meet somebody and then they're not around anymore. So I join you in opening to those possibilities of the synchronicities and the pieces fitting together, and for Carla Ann and for everybody, to open ourselves up to that feeling and tone and flavor that we want to have, and not necessarily go through all the steps, not necessarily have to say yes to everything. So thank you all for reflecting that right back to us. Sandy?
New Thought Philadelphia is all about spreading the love. Our community is supported by your contributions. The gift you share helps fund our work in the world, and the way you shine your light spreads the love. We're grateful for every way you share. We don't have a basket today, but there's a donate button on the website to make a donation by credit card, PayPal, Cash App, or Venmo. You can also mail a check to our office in Ardmore. The offering affirmation is on the screen, and we'll say the affirmation together. I live in an
abundant universe.
I am one with the universe of all good. I am the center of prosperity. I enjoy the richness of life. I bless my gift. I share my gift. I enjoy. As I give, you receive. So it is. Ginger, one more.
Everybody's waiting on a revolution. Lift the veil up from the grand illusion. I think first it's gonna take a revelation. Shift our minds and consciously awaken to the positivity human beings should be, full of love and light and inner peace. Vibrate to a higher frequency, higher, higher, higher. When I was young, I looked for love myself into some situations. Now I've grown, I know my past has not defined me, and all the love I could ever need is here inside of me. It took so long for me to see. It was waiting here for me. The love, the light, the inner peace vibrate to a higher frequency, higher, 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 higher. You can walk the earth in search of every explanation, but be aware of your own co-creation. Take responsibility for your conditions, and don't forget the power of your own volition. There is joy just as there is pain. They are one and the same. It's a choice you choose to make. Choose to vibrate to a higher frequency. I am love, I am light, I am inner peace. You are love, you are light, you are inner peace. We are love, we are light, we are inner peace. Be the love, be the light, be the inner peace.
Thank you, Ginger, and thank you, everybody. What a wonderful and uplifting Sunday morning. Great celebration. Let us close with another cacophony. Go ahead and unmute your microphone and repeat after me. I am love.
I am
I
love.
am love.
I am light.
I am light.
I am inner peace.
I am inner peace.
I am new possibilities.
I am new possibilities.
Whatever.
Not what.
Not whatever.
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 Wherever.
Wherever.
Not where.
And whenever.
And whenever.
Wherever.
Whenever.
So it is.
So it is.
It is.
Woohoo!